one.
All right, welcome everyone to the Dev Fireside Chat. My name is Nico. I'm joined here tonight by Wendy, Howard, and Jennifer, returning intern. We're going to be covering a little bit about the weekend's events, or the week's events, sorry. A little bit about Ps4 development, some of the other projects we have going on at Muse, and some of the questions and topics we covered during our coffee hour, which it's been pretty awesome because we've been seeing a lot more traction. If you guys are interested in the coffee hour, it's a Discord open forum chat we have every Tuesday at roughly 3 p.m. Eastern time, which is 8 p.m. UTC. So if you're on Discord and you're with us there, you can check it out. Myself and a few other developers from the team tend to hop in and have an open forum discussion, questions answered, or topics that we cover for explanations. Sometimes we have good stories that we discuss, things like that. So if you're interested in checking that out and you want to ask us questions there in real time, hop on in, check it out. It's every Tuesday on Discord. So, right. Hopping into business here, Howard, how has everything been at the office this week?
It's going. I mean, it's just some of the prep work. Like we're basically trying to wrap up some UI use work for Guns on PS. We finalized the release date and a pre-order start date. We'll be I guess so. So look forward to an announcement shortly. Pretty soon, and certification. We are pretty much, we're pretty much done, and just maybe some last few remaining loose ends. But yeah, we're getting towards launch. We'll be at PAX, so we did a little bit of planning for that.
Tell us about PAX. It's in Boston, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll be featuring all the games.
Yeah, no, we'll be showing guns. We'll be showing, we'll have some PlayStations, we'll have some PCs, so we should be able to set up 4 to 6 stations, and we'll be able to show up cross-platform, and then right around that time, we'll be able to announce the pre-order as well as the release date. So timing should be pretty exciting. People can come to PAX and check it out, and we'll have news about release and pre-order as well.
Right.
And the rest of the projects, I think with the horror game, we are basically kind of wrapping up a lot of these spatial experimentations and see what works and what doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And the next step is to to evaluate what are some of the advantages and disadvantages with some of the mechanics and stuff that we created, and see if we can use the results of the experimentation to come up with a few compelling levels. To put everything together, and once we do that, then I guess once you do that, we have a compelling experience and whatnot. We'll try to play test some more. Maybe you can even expand play test a little bit, even though it has pretty much no art. So it is pretty interesting how far we've been able to get with no art. And we just had another build on the survival project, and it's coming along as well. And the movement has gotten a lot better. Exploring the space feels a little bit more interesting. But
when you say movement, is that pacing or is it just the animation?
No, just how characters move. Yeah, like how fast
right.
travel.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Climbs with speed, like that kind of things. So
Yep.
Yeah. So it's definitely things are definitely better and coming along.
Sure.
So the next part is to figure out how we tie in with the terraforming and the building of your base part.
Gotcha. Now, a lot of our fans, especially the older ones, are familiar with our game, Guns of Icarus, because it was kickstarted and other big crowdsourcing projects like that. Are we going to expect some of these titles to be making an appearance on those again, or is it going to be, conveyed in a different manner And will it be available for Steam for that matter? Are these questions that are too early to say, or can we expect some of this in the future?
I think for Amsterdam, the idea is to, it is to crowdfund because like, we've done, basically most of the development ourselves, right? And it would be like, I mean, hopefully, people don't feel like there's a conflict, with guns versus a new project that we're working on and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, there are always like additional costs, such as like additional art that we like contract artists with, and the sound and music and whatnot. Like those things cost quite a bit additional like money. So yeah, I mean, I think to be able to have people help us with that, and essentially get into the game early, will be immensely helpful, because another issue has always been to try to get people of different caliber player with different play styles and whatnot to play test, and of course build a community. That's obviously, it's always been a struggle, so I think crowdfunding really helps with that as well.
Sure. So you mentioned the contracting of different artists or musicians. How often does this normally happen? And in a lot of cases, where often does this end up being required in the process for some of these games? Let's take Guns of Icarus, for example. We've had that happen a few times.
It happens often, and it usually happens when we actually are in the process of creating more content, or are building out like the more finalized art. Then it's just like, more, a lot of times, sometimes it's just more volume of work we can handle ourselves.
Sure. Do you source out to companies you recognize, or is it contacts or is there some place that you find these listings at for available content creators?
Most of them are like people we know, like or people we have like or just like postings. Sometimes we tap into schools. Yeah, I mean, I guess they come from sources. So yeah,
So out of curiosity, rough percentage, how much content would you say in Guns of Icarus is made by these outside contracted sources, content creators?
Significantly.
Just pull a number. It's fine. It doesn't have to be super accurate.
Maybe over 50%.
Over 50%.
Oh wow!
Wow, that is impressive.
Yeah.
So interesting. So that includes everything from ships to tools to guns to graphics to maps, everything.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Wow. So has this been the format since the very beginning?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, we definitely work with like a bunch of like artists, or programmers, or sound designers.
That's really interesting. Now, is the soundtrack also 50-50 when it comes to the composition? Because I know that at one point we have hired a little quartet, but
the soundtrack is all like done by other indie composers. I mean, none of the tracks that we actually compose.
Wow, small world, I guess. It's pretty impressive how it networks together.
Music is a very interesting point in your life as well. You're very picky, I heard.
You have to be for a style like this, though, right? I mean, you want to get the right feeling.
Yeah, like I like, at least like the word on the street is that Howard had such a concrete vision of everything that he just needed extra hands to make it work.
Probably not. I mean, no. I mean, I think with sound, it's just really more like us figuring out what kind of mood or what kind of tone we're looking for.
Interesting. Yeah.
Now, you can strike that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So is this the same kind of format that you're using for other projects as well? Like, is there a lot of outside help that comes in to assist with the other projects we're doing as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think for other projects, like, especially like with Amsterdam, it's there are people on contract who are helping us.
Mhm.
So
Okay. So would you say this is a pretty typical practice for a lot of indie studios?
I think so. I mean, I think a lot of times actually there are times where indie studios actually bind together. So you have like multiple studios working on a project together. So that happens as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, yeah. That makes sense, I guess. But it's an interesting way of looking at the whole bigger picture of it, because it isn't just one studio. It's an amalgam of so many different creative minds that are coming together to make a project succeed. So
Yeah, I think that's although, with I think well, yeah, I mean, I think that's totally fair. Like, it's probably a um, factor of like due to how much resource people have.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I think the more resources people have, the more they can do stuff in house. But I mean, but then again, even a lot of the big studios, they farm out any number of stuff like all the time. So
Right. So from our coffee hour with the devs on Tuesday, there has been an abnormally large number of requests for merchandise surrounding Guns of Icarus, among them being a bedspread, paper models of ships, and a PS4 controller skin. Would this be something we can look into in the future?
yeah, I mean,
there is definitely a drive for it. So
yeah, I mean, it's
would
just
not
like
hurt.
we did like a number like of stuff for Kickstarter, right? And we had well, like different like production runs of those, so we can like we can offer shows and whatnot. But it's sort of like, I mean, just because like I think our website is always something of like a lower priority, so we never really like properly formatted and presented like all that stuff, and maybe even offer it on our site.
Right.
Something that's always been an afterthought. It's definitely something that I would like to revisit and find more interesting things.
Uh-huh. Well, I know that as for everyone that's out there, we are actually updating the website right now. We're getting it polished up. Eric's working really hard with setting everything up, and we're getting some feedback from the team and getting everything set up. So it is being worked on. But yeah, I mean, I guess this is something we can look into perhaps in the future. And look, I would love to have a T-shirt, with Guns of Icarus emblazed on it. So I'm sure a lot of people would. And paper models of ships, I mean, hanging up from the ceiling or something, or having on a shelf, super rad. So I think the PS4 controller is the most interesting one, though, because I didn't think that I'm not up to speed with PS4 controllers these days, but I know that like the Xbox used to have a lot of the front-facing skins, so you can use that on different consoles. But I guess for PS4, it's on the controller, which is awesome. So that would be a great idea if we can get that going. But yeah, so Jennifer's back. She's been away from us for a little while, taking care of a lot of things outside in the real world. But she's also with us, helping us focus on the testing that primarily myself and Richard have been helping out. And I say Richard more as an emphasis because he's been a big help in terms of
he's absolutely feedback. Just been leading the charge.
Yeah, he's been muscling it out. So if you guys want to test out, because we're trying to see how the Crusader actually fits into the PvP gameplay, the more feedback we get, the better it can just kind of feel in the gameplay. And I think it sounds like so far it's been okay, but we really want you guys to just push it to the limits and see what it's like and see how it feels. So if you're able and willing, we do have testing every Friday and tonight and Saturday as well. What times are they at now, Jennifer? I think we've changed them around a little bit.
I have to look it up because it recently changed and I don't want to give the wrong time.
Sure, go ahead and look that up in the meantime. So we host these every Friday and Saturday, and then we document everything you guys give us as far as what you think. And we do have a survey as well. You can find that on the Dev app itself. If you don't have the actual Dev app program, you can just email feedback@musegames.com. We can provide you a key. It's free of charge, and it's just a great way for us to kind of get a feel on what the community thinks about some of the changes that we're trying out. And none of these are like, these are not permanent. They're not set to go that day of. It's more of we're trying to see how this feels. We'll always be open to changing things if something feels a little too strong or too weak, and make it more interesting that way too. I know that some of the features like the what's it called, the choppy, the static, static artillery. How can I forget the name? And the Stormbreaker, our ship, or the different components like that have so far they've been with us in this month's time, and it looks like we have some more data now on what we can look at to kind of augment them just ever so slightly, so they feel a little bit better in the gameplay. They're actually not too bad, but I can understand if there's some feel that maybe some minor tweaks and changes here and there. But of course, none of this would be possible without our community. So if you want to get involved, be sure to contact us about DevApp and check it out. So I guess, was there anything to report with the content this week, Jennifer?
No, I'm not up to date on that.
No worries.
I believe we're still working on Crusader. I'm not sure what else might be in.
I know that we've been working on some of the Aten missiles.
Oh, yes.
So there's been a couple of different versions of that. Yes. Right? Yes. Yeah. So you can check those out as well. I know that we're working on a map, but I don't believe it's in just yet. So keep an eye out for that. We're just going to keep pushing in some content that we want to try a little bit at a time, make sure it's properly tested before we enter in the game. But do you happen to have those times, Jennifer?
Okay, so Friday is at 9 p.m. UTC.
Okay.
I believe.
All right. So that's what? That's 3 p.m. Eastern time? No.
Oh, no. It's okay. No, it's 5 p.m.
Do you need help?
Well, there's all this chatter, and I'm not sure what times Richard decided on.
Yeah, that's the problem. So right now, what I have written down for DevApp testing is that on Friday, it is happening on 1900 EST, that's 7 p.m. EST, which is midnight UTC.
Yes.
And on Saturday, it happens at 21:30. Is that right?
Sounds about right.
It's Cow Skirmish. No. It's 3 p.m. EST. Sorry. So Saturday is at 3 p.m. EST, which is 8 p.m. UTC.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Thank you.
We'll be sure to update in-game banners as well for you guys, so you can keep track of that. If you want to see when things are happening, you can check it out there.
Drive carefully, though, kids, because we are entering the global summertime, which is at a different point, starts off in the US and at a different time in the UK.
Right.
Yes.
US Daylight Saving Time actually starts this Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah,
While in the UK, it doesn't start until the 25th or 6th of March, whichever one is the Sunday.
Yeah.
If I'm correct, does it mean the clock is moving back 1 hour? Is that correct?
It moves forward and we lose an hour.
Forward. Okay, so it moves forward 1 hour. All right.
Yes, it's later than you actually thought it was.
Fair enough.
So that runs you into the uncomfortable position of possibly missing a lot of things for these few weeks.
Yeah, because this, especially like the times we just gave, are only going to be accurate for this week, and then they're likely going to move.
Yeah, but
one way or the other.
We'll cover it as we go for this next week, so players are up to speed with it.
Right.
Both in the coffee hour on Tuesday, and then we'll cover it here during the stream as well, so you guys can check out, what is accurately the time for you guys to hop in. So I'm sure we'll make postings about it on Steam, Jennifer, and we'll see if that can be possible for you guys as well to keep you guys notified. So
yeah, the Steam group always has its notifications, and we put notifications in the Discord too. If people aren't on the Discord,
yes, that would help. Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Discord.gg. Yeah, Gansevickers. Sorry.
And just as a friendly reminder, I know that this is Friday when this comes out, but every Thursday we'll be hosting the Dev Games with one of our colleagues at the office who will be playing on the PlayStation 4 version of the game, and he'll be playing with us real time in the game itself during the matches. So don't miss out. Check it out. See how it feels to be playing with a PS4 player. It's kind of a different experience. And it certainly will be fun once people start actually playing on that platform. But in the meantime, you can see what it's like to see how their skills are in real-time action.
Get that envy going.
Look, it's so far it's worked out really well. I mean, I haven't had too many complaints about his abilities. So
actually, a lot of people commented on the conventions that when you're in game with a PlayStation 4 player, you do not notice that it's four different platforms that you're playing from, like the PS4, then the Steam editions, which is PC, Linux, and Macintosh. You can absolutely draw no distinction. There's no difference in playstyle even. It's just you do notice the difference of attitude of the players, though. There's something very magical about the console that just makes it so much more engaging. And I'd be really interested to see how that develops once we're released.
Yep. We'll obviously provide more information when we get closer to that time. I just want to make a quick note for all you guys. If you are familiar with events that go on in the game, or if you're not, we do host a lot of them over the weekends. There is the Iron Poker Friday, which is 1 hour after the posting of this recording. There's the Chaos Saturday Skirmish, if I said that correctly in that order, which is on Saturday. I think that's 9:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes, which
So
is
it's quite late,
2:30 UTC.
Yeah, it's quite late. But if you are one of those gamers that just loves to be up all night, power to you. Like, that's definitely an event to check out. It's a great event. I've been there a couple times myself, stayed up for it. Super fun, lots of great folks, lots of interesting game rules. So definitely check it out. And then if you're more into the more structured, competitive kind of gameplay, the Sunday Community Skirmish is more of a kind of, I guess, double elimination format, or maybe round robin, depends on which week it is. Yeah,
it depends on how many teams sign up.
Yep, and if you sign up with a team, you can get entered that way and see how you fare in a more structured, competitive environment. And this is a great way to see how you can improve in different ways. And of course, a lot of these are still streamed. Am I correct with that, Jennifer?
Yes.
Yes.
SCS should be streamed every week, barring.
Cool. So yeah, you can check out the
stuff.
videos, see how you perform, see what strengths and weaknesses you got, and you can keep improving in that way as well. So, and then finally, to top it all off, for Monday, we also have the Munker Monday Madness mining, whatever it's called. There's a lot of M's, but there's a lot of mines. It's all on Monday. Check it out. I think it's 3 p.m. Eastern as well. Usually a little more inconvenient hour, but if you're free that day, or if you're European like us and you happen to chill out during the evenings, then that's the perfect time for you to hop in and check it out. So these are the events. Check them out. And yeah, that's what's going on right now. So I think we covered everything, right, Howard? We're all good now. So on that note, I just want to thank everyone for joining. Be sure to tune in next week. We're going to be covering some more topics on discussion for our coffee hour on Tuesday. If you have questions for us, be sure to enter them there so we can cover it on the stream as well with Howard here as well. So until then, guys, have a good weekend and clear skies. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.